we had talked about the Reese development over the last couple of weeks, and I had posted an editorial. I had spent some time talking to Nick Reese and his partners, and in my article, I had not gotten to hear back from Mayor Dennis Newberry. We had talked since then, and that led me to talk with City Administrator Harrison Fry. And so some things going on here at the City of Lake Ozark before we get into Reese development. I first want to update something I knew nothing about as we look at the road projects they've been talking about, right? Supposed to start this spring into the summer. But first, Harrison updated me. They just had on March 12th kind of a tough situation where a main water line broke in the City of Lake Ozark out of Osage Hills Road outside of Osage National Golf Course. A contractor actually took out a main water line, and that caused some major problems to the road surface. It needed to be closed temporarily and actually caused about $40,000 worth of damage to the area. And so with some road improvements, there's numerous phases and steps. And so the first project that they're working on right now is to repair that. And I asked, I was like, so where does that money come from, right? 40 grand.
Yeah.
Is that out of the general fund? And Harrison goes, now typically, yes, we would use that from our general fund. And we have, our financial state as a city is outstanding right now. However, with it being a contractor, is actually the city's insurance that filed a claim with the insurance of the contractor, and they're still waiting for that process. And whether or not they get the full 40,000 or, partial payout there, Harrison does say the city's got the capital to get that taken care of. And so that was kind of unexpected, but still on pace and on schedule. Starting early May, right around the corner, is the first resurface project in the City of Lake Ozark. We've been waiting for this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so from Bagnell Dam Boulevard at School Road, at the top of the Bagnell Dam strip right there, kind of across from King's Academy.
Yep.
So from there, all the way to J.B. Hooks, where that overpass is, they're going to do a resurfacing. They're going to mill down 2 inches into the asphalt, and they're going to resurface that. Luckily, as they went down 2 inches, they realized the structural integrity of the road didn't need any more than 2 inches
that's good.
milled down. So that's not going to be quite as expensive as potentially anticipated. And then the second phase of that resurface, you're like, okay, why only do up to there? Well, it's wise not to do it all at once, right? You're going to have closures, one lanes, things like that. And so then this fall, they're then going to take that school road to the other side of the dam, and that's going to be a little bit more of an extensive process. That's larger scale. You're going to have to seal that, aggregate that. It's going to have to sit for a while and cure, and then the final phase is going to be a road sealer. We'll roll over and do the final seal of that portion, and that's going to be about a 2.5, 3 week progress, and so it's not going to be a long progress, but so you can get both of those resurfacing projects should be done this fall, which is really exciting because that is what we hear so much of, the roads, the roads. And so it's not all the roads in the City of Lake Ozark, but it is the Bagnell Dam Boulevard up to J.B. Hooks there at the overpass. And so massive improvements, and that's going to be getting underway like right around the corner.
Well, and like you said, everybody's been yelling and screaming for this to happen. So it's great that it's finally going to start happening. Sounds like they're doing it wisely. Do the first half, now basically in the spring, do the second half in the fall. So we'll remind you in the fall that that's coming again, because the second part of that's going to be right in front of the strip, basically the main part of the strip. But it's got to be done, right? I mean, they have to do this stuff. So that's great to hear. That's good news.
Yeah, so that's really, really big. And I reached out, of course, to kind of find out about Reese development. And the nice thing is, if you haven't read my editorial, I'd encourage you to do so. But this is going to be a long-term project, right? It's not just a one building or one attraction. It's going to be in collaboration with the city, trying to improve roads, infrastructure, things of that nature. And so it kind of goes hand in hand with that. And so other things that I wanted to talk to Harrison about, I was like, well, hey, what about this summer? Like, don't we feel like the City of Lake Ozark is going to see more visitors than ever before? And Harrison says, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. He said, come summertime, we're actually going to have a higher police presence, especially for weekends and those highly saturated events where you start to see a lot of people into the area. He said people don't understand, but our public works system gets strained in the summer, and so they've actually be reinvesting in not only their systems and procedures, but their people, important roles within the city. They have been looking at and making sure that they're compensated right and they're empowered to do their job and have the resources necessary. And what Harrison said is some of the key capital improvement projects are what they're really focusing in on, like the roads, like the things of that nature. And so we should see more of that. And I did bring up, I was like, well, that's cool. What about Reese development on your perspective? You know? And he goes, I want to assure the community that regardless of what's to come, like everyone has all this speculation from family friendly and nostalgic. And he said, regardless of what's to come next, he said, I want to make clear that these demolitions are 100% necessary for the city of Lake Ozark. You talk about health and safety, you talk about visual appearance. He goes, regardless as a city, what we're going to have there moving forward, this is the necessary step that had yet to be taken. And so this now opens the door for other development and things of that nature. And he said, man, it has been so great to work with them. He said, I don't just really consider this a developer. He goes, as crazy as it is, it's kind of like a marriage with the city of Lake Ozark. And I said, so Harrison, is this like an ideal developer? I said, because you know developers, they smooth talkers, they want a good deal, and I don't get this sense. And he said, it is about an ideal marriage, an ideal partnership, just because of the thinking, the diligence, and the integrity that Nick Reese and his group have. So he was really excited, and